Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Simon. I'm going to conjure my presentation, which is going to have a brief number of slides. So that's my mugshot there on the bottom right. That's not the important part. BIM for Housing Associations was formed in 2018 to accelerate the uptake of BIM within the social housing sector. And one of the things that we've been accelerating, or one of the biggest accelerants, is fire safety and the golden thread requirements that are emerging from the new building safety regime. So we need to know about our buildings, and we need to have single sources of truth. But what I'll start out with is a little bit of a reality check here in what is the current state of play. This is a typical set of drawings with this is the building services and MEP overlay for a typical dwelling, and this is what gets handed over from the construction process to any given client. There's no block numbers, no flat numbers, no cross-reference to schematics. Bit of an arrangement there. And why is this a problem? Well, if you have a responsive repairs, if you need to carry out some work, for example, a leak from one flat to another flat, then you're working off of plot numbers. They don't have any association with the actual addresses. Here's another sort of schematic of this is a district heat network. Those are what the HIUs are. There's a little bit of a reference there about what the impact is on asset managers. I think it was a really good quote from Dame Hackett from back in February 2018. So what does this mean more in practical terms? I was sent out on a particularly long-standing complaint. There was an HIU, or district heat network, issue with the circle flat there, and there's the M&EP reference numbers from their information model that has a really clear logic to it, but it has absolutely no bearing on what the asset management information model. So when we're talking about digital twins, there's a truncation between what is in the capital development phase and that's handed over to the operational phase, and that golden thread is severed in this way because the referencing numbers, very quite simply, just don't match up. So somebody 5 years down the line trying to cipher through a set of information from the capital phase, they're going to have a lot of challenges. This is every building that's being produced, I think, in the UK, certainly in the residential sector, regardless of social housing or whatever. So what would better information look like? Well, there would be why is this important? These are all the things that we need to do to buildings. We have compliance, fire doors, fire stoppings, AOVs, planned preventative maintenance. Every dwelling you're going to have to go into and touch the HIU and do something to it, the MVHR as well on an annual basis. And then we have cyclical works that will be taking place every, 10 to 15 years. So one of the things that in a conversation with the future regulator at the health and safety executive, what are they going to be drilling down on when it comes to checking compliance for the golden thread, the new building safety regime, is metadata. So I think this has a direct relationship to digital twin, and I'll try to explain that in a second. So what are we doing to make that metadata? Is to put our asset information models referencing system into the front end of the construction process. So using 19650 methodology, our asset information requirements, our exchange information requirements, we're dictating to the supply chain to put our internal unique property reference numbers that are outlined on this particular slide to apply our, in a sense, our digital twins nomenclature, our logic into the front end of the process. So our plans from the beginning to the end have numbers that make sense to our asset managers. So this is in alignment with, you can see there in the bottom left, it's aligned with the UK Housing Data Standards. They're listed here as HACT, Housing Association Charitable Trust. Also, it's COBE, so it's lined up with IFC and our internal systems. Here's a quick example. So, I don't want to go into too much detail on that. This is a reference to how BIM for Housing Associations has taken 19650 and detailed the BIM framework for our particular sector. And on the top right is what our current asset information models look like. There's a list there of various software systems and basically our data containers that we have for our existing assets. And when we're producing new capital phase projects, they kind of get shoehorned into that. But the next step in the evolution, in our particular sector is or developing an asset information model that is aligned to external standards. So that will be obviously IFC, Uniclass, and this is how we're going to be delivering the golden thread. So it's just a really quick canter through what we've been working on, and hopefully that's been illuminating on, I think really how far we are in reality from having a digital twin that reflects our buildings, that's compatible with how we procure buildings at this particular